Michel Gondry is a French film and music video creator. His family were very influenced by pop music. His parents had hippie hair, which could mean that they were laid back. He was born on the 8th of May in 1963 in a city called Versailles. Michel Gondry is the grandson of Constant Martin, who was a French engineer and inventor who successfully commercialized radio sets and most famously created the Clavio line, one of the first keyboard synthesizers. Gondry has a brother called Oliver Twist Gondry, who is a television commercial and music video director, creating videos for music bands. Michael Gondry's son Paul is also a director, as well as an artist and actor inspired by his father. Michel's father, Marie-Noël Gondry, owned an instrument store. He sold guitars, which gave him the knowledge of music, allowing him to pursue a career in music videos. Michel Gondry was brought up by his mother, who had a modernist outlook on life. Gondry himself has admitted in past interviews how his upbringing was much different from people his age. He said that there was less discipline and a lot more creative freedom, which made Gondry into the inventive, ingenious director we know from today. This possibly could have been a catalyst for his unrestricted imaginative ideas, which he uses in his projects. When Gondry was young, he wanted to become a painter or an inventor. In the 80s, he went to an art school in Paris, where he could develop his graphic skills, and it's also where he met new friends, and together, Gondry and his friends created a pop rock band called Hoi Hoi. The band released 2 albums, Chanchu Tout Le Monde and Formidable, and several other albums until the group separated in 1992. He later graduated in the art school that he was in. In Gondry's childhood, he would often have dreams. Gondry uses a heavy amount of his childhood dreams for his movies and music videos. In Gondry's music videos, he uses a strong amount of his childhood nightmares. This can be seen in his music videos Everlong by Foo Fighters and Army of Me by Bjork. And in his movie he creates more of a positive vibe, like in his movie called Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, where he uses the positive side of his dreams from his childhood. Gondry first started his career as a filmmaker, creating music videos for a French band called Hoi Hoi, in which he took the role of a drummer. He later worked with other bands like the Chemical Brothers, White Stripes, and Daft Punk. He was also hired by a singer called Bjork, and together they made a music video. In one of the bands he worked for, called the Foo Fighters, he created a song with the band called Everlong, which was released in 1997 and has 182 million views on YouTube. In this music video, he used his nightmares from his childhood and threw them into his project. We can see this in his music videos, as some of his characters have enormous sized hands, like in Everlong. The protagonist of the music video has spiky hair, ginormous sized hands, and in this scene, right here, he enters a room where he is so small and the cell phone is massive. This could be referencing how Gondry felt physically and mentally as a child. He also made sure to use as many homemade props and techniques, staying away from CGI as much as possible in true Gondry style. Gondry was inspired by Michael Jackson and how he would move with each beat in his music videos. The style of his music videos often relies on videography and camera tricks which play with frames of reference. While making music videos, Gondry also directed a number of adverts. He is most known for being the brand Levi's, which now holds the Guinness World Record for the most awards won by a commercial. This certainly highlights his popularity within the creative industry.
Taking a look at Michel Gondry in the movie industry. Michel Gondry's inspiration for movies came from the film Le Voyage en Balloon. He stated, "When I watch the movie, I dream I'm flying, then I do stories where people are flying. I think it's directly influencing." The first film Gondry created was Human Nature, which was released in 2001. He then went ahead and made countless other movies until one day he astonished the world with the eye-opening film Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, starring Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet. This movie's popularity allowed Gondry to win the award for Best Screenplay in 2004, alongside Charlie Kaufman and Pierre Bismuth. This film was about romance and a couple, Clementine and Joa, who both go through a procedure of erasing their memories from each other, forgetting about the past of their relationship. Most of the film takes place in Joa's mind as he struggles to keep his memories after changing his mind and tries to hold on to them. During this film, Gondry explores the different ways memories are stored in our minds, some vivid and some blurry. He shows us this by purposely blurring out certain areas of a scene and making other features bright and bold. He also specifically matches the colours with emotional details of the scene. One of the ways he does this is by making one of the main character's hair the only vibrant thing in the shot, as Clementine, the character's ex, is the main focus on Joa's mind. Gondry teaches us an important lesson explaining how important our memories are in our daily lives and how much we should treasure them, as our memories are lessons, and forgetting them means forgetting ourselves. Carrying on, Gondry's work combines elements of lo-fi animation stagecraft, and he uses puppetry to visually represent what is going on inside the minds of the characters. His genre is usually about romance, and his films often have a charming and dreamy vibe to them. Gondry utilises basic everyday material which he then brings together in order to create his whimsical film worlds. 2 years after Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, he decided to direct and write his first film by This film is known as The Science of Sleep. The movie itself follows an eccentric and quirky man who begins to fall in love with his next-door neighbour. Like in most of Gondry's work, the director included a lot of representations of dreams, sometimes making certain parts of the movie set as though it was no longer meant to be set in the physical world, but the emotional world of the character.
Gondry clearly enjoyed the idea of writing and directing solo, as after he created the film Be Kind Rewind, starring Jack Black, who in the film attempts to remake a number of movies with the help of other characters after a film shop's entire collection is erased. During the making of this film, Gondry's method of using homemade props and costumes is very foregrounded and clear. He also purposely ignored imperfections which would have generally been removed by other directors. This narrative overall gives a warm and more relatable feel to the viewers when watching. In conclusion, Gondry is very creative with his imagination and likes to think beyond, making masterpieces. Gondry doesn't use much CGI, as he wants his movies to have a different viewpoint and feel like you can relate to the characters and how they are mentally coping with the situations. The lowest amount of CGI can often lead to a better film for Gondry, as it is not overstimulating but rather relatable. Personally, after exploring Michel Gondry and his career, I feel, as a director, he is everything you could ever want, with original and imaginative ideas pushing the boundaries of filmmaking, creating new concepts and techniques, forcing the viewers to see everyday concepts in a new and erratic way. I also feel with creators like Gondry himself, after watching his creations, a number of artists will follow his footsteps after being inspired, starting a beautiful domino effect of new talent rising to the surface within the film industry.